Hello and welcome to our Week 9 predictions. Sorry that this is so late, but we had a little bit of a scheduling conflict. Greg is getting ready to go to Honduras, so it's a bit of
No,
it's a bit tricky to get these videos out, but we got it out before
we're
Thursday night football, so
we're here. We're here anyways.
we're here anyways. We always get those predictions for you. All right, this is my slide. I had a bit of a stinker last week with a record of 7-8. This is my first record under 500 of the season. I'm 73-51 overall.
To recap last week, I had a very good week. That is, I went 10-5, only 5 picks that I did not guess correctly, which brings my overall to 38-26, upping my record from last week and giving myself a little more green.
This is our first game, Eagles-Texans, tonight, Thursday night football, in about an hour and 30 minutes or something like that. 7-0 Eagles. A lot of people are picking the Eagles to have a trap game, which it was understandable. They are 7-0, but the opponents that they're facing, I don't think they're going to lose. I think their first loss is going to be against Dallas or New York. I picked them to lose to the Cowboys, which they didn't, but I don't think that they're going to have a trap game like most things, especially not against Houston.
You know, I do think they're gonna have a trap game. I think they're gonna have a trap game against this 1-5-1 fourth and South Houston Texans team. I think it's about time. They're 7-0. I think that although Brandon Cooks may not be playing tonight, they will shine on prime time and be able to pull out this epic upset victory against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles are good. I think the Eagles are great. I think the Eagles are one of the best teams in the league. But I do think that there are just some of those games where, you know, offensive play calling versus defensive play calling against certain teams just ends up working out well. Nick Sirianni's really done a good job with this team in general, but I do think there are those games where that just doesn't line up and that doesn't really happen. I think this is one of those games. I have the Texans beating the Eagles on Thursday Night Football.
Well, hopefully they don't let you down like they let me down last week.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
okay, Colts Patriots. We both got the Patriots at home. Bill Belichick against young quarterbacks is not ideal for the Colts in this situation. Also,
Yes.
not doesn't help the Patriots are at home, but we were wrong about the Bears, Justin Fields. So who knows? The Colts could possibly pull this off, but I got the Patriots and the defense rolling, but they are inconsistent, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you got two young quarterbacks going up against each other. Obviously, the coaching staff of the Patriots is a bit more experienced than that of the Colts. I do think after seeing the Colts lose that game against the Commanders last week, I don't really have much hope in them to go very far. Although they are second in the South, they are 3-4. I think the Patriots offense and Patriots defense just going to trample on them, and I have the Patriots winning this game.
All right, Packers Lions. A nice split here. I was considering taking the Lions. I've seen a couple people take the Lions, but then I thought Aaron Rodgers and his receivers were actually, well, Robio Dobbs in specific, but they were actually connecting, and they almost beat the Bills in the second half. So that kind of confused me why people were taking the Lions. I get that the Lions should win. They played well against Miami until the second half, but even if this is a shootout, I think Aaron Rodgers will still win it.
Yeah, so I mean the Bills won 27-17 against the Packers last week, and the Packers did score in the fourth quarter, but I just think even without TJ Hawkinson, that this Lions offense is going to put in more work and be able to get farther downfield than anything that the Packers can do. Uh, I think not making any moves on the trade deadline for the Packers is really not helpful at all to their team. And I think it's going to come back to bite them in this game. So I have the Lions winning this game.
Okay, what we got next? Chargers Falcons. This could be a good game. The Falcons almost choked last week, like they usually do. The Ravens are actually choking more than the Falcons this year, but Falcons tried to regain the crown, but DJ Moore saved them. So that's why the Falcons are first in the South and not the Panthers. They're at home, but I got the Chargers still coming off injuries. I think the bye week helped with the injuries. Hopefully they could come back against the Falcons. And like I said last week against the Falcons, they win and then they lose. I think they're the most inconsistent team in the NFL. Because one week they, like example, the 49ers game, they look unstoppable, and then they go and then they choke a game away that they should win. So that's why I have the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, with the Falcons being 4-4, first in the South, doesn't really bode too well for the NFC South, uh, and for the Chargers, I do think that the bye week, like you said, is going to really help them out considering injuries. Hopefully, they got rested up, and I just see them as more explosive offense than the Falcons. I do think the Falcons are not exactly a bad team, but I just think the Chargers are more experienced, more explosive, and although their defense is a bit struggling right now, I have the Chargers winning this game against the Falcons.
Yeah, last week I said that the NFC South would be open for anybody to take, and
Yep.
with the Saints winning, I mean, it's a battle between the Bucks, Panthers, and Saints, and I think they all have the same record. The Saints are in third now, so Greg,
Yeah.
they're on the comeback. But
Yep.
Bills Jets are at home. Still can't beat the Bills though. Think the Bills will win this game. The Dolphins beat the Bills at home, but I think that the Bills actually would have won that game if it wasn't for the play calling at the end and not calling, or whoever the receiver was who didn't get out of bounds. And I don't think they're going to make that mistake against the Jets. I think that Zach Wilson's going to throw 3 picks again. James Robinson will do good. I think it's going to be something like 30-20, only 10 points, but Bill's still going to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of battle for the East. I mean, the Jets will not be in first after this game, but it'll be a major blow to their only other really opponent in this conference or this division. That is, uh, although I do have the Bills winning this game, they are a better team than the Jets. The Jets do have some very good standout players uh, that are going to give this Bills defense some trouble. They're a little banged up still. I have this as a high scoring game, maybe like 28-30, 28-31, somewhere around there. I do think that both these offenses are great. I think they're good at scoring. I just don't see the Jets winning this, although I do see them putting up points to make it a close and contending game against the Bills.
Don't underestimate the Dolphins, though. They're going to be second in the East if the Jets lose this. So,
Yeah.
all right, Kirk Cousins going back to Washington. How will this fare for him? But
I like that.
yeah, I like. Do you like that? Yes, I
Yeah.
do. We both have the Vikings, though. Vikings on a 4-game winning streak, I believe.
Something like
Washington
that.
Washington is proving that they're not out of the NFC East yet, and the NFC is looking much better than it is last year. But Washington's still showing that they might have a playoff push. So I think that this could be a close game. I think that for me, this is the most questionable hard game of the week because Washington is just such a weird team. Like I picked the Colts last week, and then they were losing the entire game, and then won at the last second. So Washington has some tricks up their sleeves, but I think the Vikings are going to continue on that win streak.
Yeah, I think Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook really bring together this offense. A little bit of Adam Thielen. I think the addition with T.J. Hawkinson being mixed up in this offense is going to be really dangerous for any team facing them. I think them staying at 6-1 really shows that this is a team you don't want to mess with. And although the Commanders did win their game last week against the Colts, it was 17-16. Not exactly the biggest blowout at all by any means. But I just don't have enough faith in them to really pick them over this explosive Vikings offense. So that's why I have the Vikings winning this.
I believe that T.J. Hawkinson will not be playing this week, though.
Oh, really?
Just an FYI, if you want to change
Okay.
your pick.
No, I still believe.
I still believe in the purple. All
I
right.
still believe.
So
Yeah.
we have
Skull.
we got the Panthers Bengals now. Panthers. That was a shootout last week against the Falcons. I didn't expect that. The thumbnail for this week will kind of depict something else, but with them both losing, I think the Panthers could win this game. We didn't know how much of an impact Jamar Chase was, apparently. I don't know when he's coming back. I haven't looked at anything on the Bengals, but I'm going to take them purely just because they're at home. I think if the Panthers were at home, I'd give them this, but Bengals at home. Let's go Ohio. So I think.
Yeah. Yeah. You continue.
Oh, I just thought you were looking up something, so I was gonna say, oh, Greg's looking up something right now, so I'll keep talking about the Bengals.
Yeah, it looks like Chase should be expected to miss between 4 to 6 weeks. So he'll be out of this offense for a little bit. But yeah, again, I mean, the Bengals really struggled against Cleveland last week, and that's something that they're definitely going to have to work out. Offensive line hasn't really improved much. Um, I do think that the Panthers are a good matchup for them. Um, yeah, Jamar Chase is an addition that will especially be missed since he's been out. I think that T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd will have big shoes to fill, but I believe they are fillable. Um, and I think this is going to be a high scoring game for Cincinnati, not so much for the Panthers. So I have the Bengals winning this game, probably in more of a blowout against the Panthers. And then again, Panthers losing always makes me happy anyways. So I have the Bengals winning this game.
PJ Walker's the GOAT, though.
Oh, not this week.
Oh, man. Raiders, Jaguars. I got another split on this one. I took the Raiders away again. Last week it didn't work out for me. Who I feel bad for most, though, is Marcus, who had 3 Raiders players, I believe, on his starting lineup in fantasy. So,
Yeah.
my condolences to you. But, yeah, I took the Raiders against the Jaguars. The Jaguars also lost. Lawrence threw a bunch of picks. Ones that mattered, too, I believe. The Jaguars had a chance to win it. You're going down the field, and Lawrence threw a pick. So, I can't trust the Jaguars anymore. I can't trust the Raiders either, but I trust with Darren Waller coming back that the Raiders will get something going on offense, hopefully.
Darren Waller's a pretty good player, but he's only good if you really utilize him. If you utilize your weapons, and if you have good weapons, that is. Everyone thought Devontae Adams to the Raiders was going to be a huge, crazy addition to this offense, but so far has proved to be a little wish-washy. The fact that they're 2-5 and just lost in a shutout loss to New Orleans Saints There's no way I could bet with this team. Uh, there's no way I could see them winning this game. I do think they'll be a little bit better than last week against the Jags, but in no way having to be able to beat Jacksonville. So I have Jacksonville winning this game against the Raiders.
All right, the Dolphins and the Bears. Um, the Bears lost last week against Dallas. It was a bit of a shootout. The Bears could have won that game. So I think that this will be the same sort of game. Same outcome. Dolphins win in a shootout, which they also did last week against the Lions, at least in the first half. So we both have the Dolphins here. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Tua. Tua had his best game ever in the NFL last week, so hopefully he could do that again. But yeah, like I put again, defensive inconsistency. But Bradley Chubb, hopefully, hopefully he has a game.
Yeah, I think Bradley Chubb really makes this team even more dangerous than it was before. The fact that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle combined for more receiving yards than what 8 NFL teams is something to attest to. The fact that Tua had the best game of his career and has been performing at his peak so far this year. They're 5-3, and some people to be trifled with. You don't really want to go up against either one of these receivers. You don't want to go up against this defense either, especially with Bradley Chubb. They are improving, I believe, and I think the defense is really where it's lacking. But I don't think they're bad by any means. So I don't see Chicago winning this at all. I think Chicago's wishy-washy. They did put up a decent amount of points against Dallas's defense, but I don't see them in any way contending with the Miami Dolphins. So I have the Dolphins winning this game.
The Kentucky Bluegrass, though,
Oh, yeah.
it's dangerous. It killed my 49ers in Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, I took the Cardinals. I kept calling them the Falcons last week, and I lost that. They lost that game. Shouldn't have picked them, and I did it again this week. So will they let me down again? I just don't see Seattle beating the. Seattle's a good team. They proved that by beating the Giants, but I think they're going to split with the Cardinals, especially at home. I think this will be a bit of a shootout. I was wrong in the first game, but DeAndre Hopkins, he had a game last week. Hopefully he does it again, and hopefully the defense can step up and limit Geno Smith.
Yeah. I disagree. I mean, I think defense is good. I think Hopkins is good. But I also think the Seahawks are dangerous. Geno Smith has yet to write back. And they just won against, I believe, the Giants. Like we said, the Giants, another dangerous team. They were 6-1, no longer. Seahawks, no one took them to be the first in the West, that's for sure. Everyone was kind of memeing around week one that they were number one in the West, and basically because they didn't believe it would last too long. Well, look, we're on week almost 9, and they are number one in the West still. So I believe in this Seahawks team. I believe that Geno Smith is going to go off. I believe Kenneth Walker and this rookie class that they really drafted is one of the best drafts in the NFL this year. I think that Pete Carroll's going to put it together again and win against these Arizona Cardinals.
Have you ever done something dangerous? Oh, okay. No, that's too dangerous. Be careful, though. It's spicy. Okay, Rams, Buccaneers. We got another split here. I took the Bucs last week, and they let me down, so I will not be doing it this week. Maybe they'll win. I expect them to get back on track at some point. But what I saw from the Rams last week in the first half was a team that was better than they were at before the bye week. So I think the Rams are a better team now. In the second half, they didn't show that, but the Rams proved that if they could get it done in the first half and have a lead, that they could keep the lead for the whole game, and I think that's what they'll do. So that's why I have them winning this game. But Cup almost got injured in garbage time, I believe, last week, but he's not injured, so that's another reason why I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I think Cooper Cup is a dangerous weapon, but I believe the Mike Evans is also a dangerous weapon. Of course, when he's not dropping passes. Um, Mr. Lenny Fournette is getting a little bit older, a little bit fatter. Tom Brady, as always, a little bit older. I think this team is kind of reaching the end of their time. The Bucks are, that is, but I think it's also due time that they have a win. So I think LA's going to be real dang good, but I just see the Bucks putting their heart and soul into this and pulling off a win against LA.
All right, that's fair. Sunday night football. Got Titans Chiefs. There's a thing called a curse wheel, and last week, here let me tell the full story. So 2 weeks ago, the curse wheel landed on the Jets, and I took the Patriots, and the Jets lost. And then this week, it landed on the Browns, the Bengals. So the Bengals got cursed, and what did they do? They lost. So I will believe in the curse wheel this week. It landed on the Chiefs. I'm taking the Titans. So that's mostly the reason why. I don't even know if Tannehill's coming back. This is just full faith in the curse of the Chiefs right here. Derrick Henry will hopefully have a good game. So also my days of being the notorious Titans hater is over. I took the Titans this week. Everyone could be happy with me now.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a really entertaining game. Obviously, the Titans their passing game is not really too good right now, but their run game really is. So if Kansas City prepares for that, then they'll be able to have a really good game against Titans on Sunday night. I do think that Derrick Henry is something that you can't really plan for. You could try your best, but I think ultimately in the end he's going to run all over you. He's just too big to be stopped. Um, I have this as a high-scoring game, both probably the 30s, and it's going to be just a really good, entertaining game because the Chiefs' offense, I believe, the top scoring in the league. Travis Kelce is great. They don't even need Hill, as can be proven by Patrick Mahomes still getting it out to people like Smith-Schuster and everyone else. And they're just well-rounded. Kansas City is. So I have Derrick Henry running all over them. I have Kansas City passing, running all over them. I think this is going to be a game of offenses. I think this is going to be a high-scoring shootout. But in the end, I have Kansas City pulling the clutch and winning this game against Titans.
All right, Monday Night Football. I apologize, Saints.
Yeah, you better.
I was the hardest on you last week, and I came to regret it. So, but I was going to take them this week regardless because I knew that they aren't going to lose at the Dome twice in a row. So that's why I took them this week.
You better not.
Yeah, I did pick against the Ravens last week though, and they won. But Lamar Jackson still looks like a bit of a stinker. Um, I don't think Andy Dalton's better than him, but I think the Saints have figured it out. I'm pretty confident in saying that if they just give it to Kamara most of the time, they'll win this game. So I think the Saints got it figured out. They're coming for the first spot in the South, so they will defeat the Atlanta Ravens, the choking Ravens.
Yeah, especially against the Raiders, they really showed that they can play defense as well. which is really good because of how touted this defense was originally in the preseason before everything happened. I mean, no one really expected us to go 3-5. At least I didn't. But I think, yeah, figuring out what this offense needed to score points was really the key to starting to win games. Being able to lock down receivers, even more key. And we showed that last week against the Raiders. As long as we could perform like that against the Ravens, then I think this is going to be a great game. I do think the Ravens are going to score somewhat. I do think that the Saints are going to score a little bit too. In the end, I have the Saints winning this game against the Ravens. I think Chris Olave is going to do great. I think Alvin Kamara is probably going to do greater. They're just too good of guys, and I think that's going to overwhelm the Ravens, and the Saints are going to come out on top on this Monday Night Football game. Thank you for listening to this week's edition, Week 9 of NFL Predictions with Greg and Dylan. Make sure to like, comment, and share. Leave your predictions in the comment section. Dylan.
Yes, this week's edition of The End is the gloves and a Lego person. So
Lego Man says bye.
the Lego man says bye. See you
Okay.
next week, week 10.
See you next week.
Goodbye.